begin today with a simple question. So here goes. Tom Cruise, ESPN sports analyst Stuart Scott, President Bill Clinton, Brad Pitt, or even Elvis Presley. What do these five guys have in common? Well, I'm not going to give you too much time to guess. I'm going to give you the answer. They were all a part of Key Club when they were high schoolers, when they were your age. And Key Club actually started out in 1925. And it was at that time period where a lot of adults were kind of questioning the activities of the fraternities and the high school boys and girls and the things they were involved in. And so a group of high school boys in Sacramento, California decided to start a service and volunteer organization, and they called it the Key Boys. And from there, it stuck and transitioned into an international Key Club. And Key Club is also affiliated with Kiwanis. There's actually a Kiwanis organization in Pewaukee. And they do the same kinds of things as our Key Club does, volunteer and service work. And so if you really like Key Club and you want to continue doing these kinds of things, in college you can join the Circle K organization, and then as you transition out of college, you can go on to Kiwanis. So it's the same kinds of things, just at different age levels. And don't worry, if you ever move away to, say, Thailand or Malaysia or New Zealand, you name it, they've got Key Club all over the world for you. And in fact, the largest Key Club in the entire world is just down the road from us at Arrowhead High School, and they have over 600 members. We usually have about 70 to 80. So, despite Key Club being international, I want to focus on just Pewaukee. And so, a lot of times, what happens is these local organizations, such as Market Day, reach out to me and say, we need volunteers this day, this many hours, and then I forward that information on to you. So Market Day is something that happens every single month on a particular Saturday. They always need volunteers, and if it fits, you can sign up for it, but you've got to provide your own transportation there. There are other organizations that just need volunteers maybe every couple of months for special events, such as the Rensselaer Nature Center. They put on programs such as Apple Harvest in September, Manuka Mash in October. There's a festival in January and Earth Day Festival as well. So they keep us pretty busy for volunteer needs too. The Pewaukee Park and Rec is another one that we work with pretty regularly. They provide programs to our youth, and so they're always looking for volunteers. But there are also organizations that just need volunteers on a one-time basis for their events, such as the Pewaukee Community Fair, and we can provide volunteers for that. And so those are the kinds of things that the Pewaukee Key Club sponsors. However, there's also ways you can get volunteer hours that aren't through Key Club, such as through your church or through the community or even through the school. They're always looking for volunteers for school events. And you can get volunteer hours through any of those. And so why would you want to join Key Club like Tom Cruise or Bill Clinton? Well, it's a great way to improve on your leadership skills and be a part of new experiences that are usually pretty fun. We usually provide volunteers for events that are geared towards little kids, and you get to work with them and help them out and have a big help in making that event a success. But I would be lying to say that one of the largest reasons kids join Key Club is for their college applications. We are a well-respected international organization, and when admissions see that on your application, they want to know more about it. They want to know about your work in Key Club and the volunteer activities that you do. And it shows that you're a much more well-rounded student. So consider all of those options before joining. So what do you have to do to join? One, we are an international club, so you got to pay the dues. We also provide you with a t-shirt that you wear at the events to help not only make you more visible, but to tell people you're from Pewaukee. And we've got a really good reputation, and we provide good work at these events. And finally, just like any other athletic team or academic club or extracurricular, you do need to fill out a drug testing form. You can get those at the athletic office, but all three of those things can be given to me. And we're hoping to have all of our membership things turned in by the end of September. So make sure you get those turned in by the end of September. Now, once you do that, as soon as you turn in those three things, I will give you the code to activate your membership and gain access to our Moodle page. And if you go to our Moodle page, over here is an active link to the actual Key Club website. I'll talk about how you can get mass text from me. But the most important part is where you sign up for events, how many hours have you logged, and then there's a third one right below this box, I believe, called downloads, because there are some things that you'll need to print off for the club. And I'll explain all those right now. So here's you. In order to stay in Key Club every semester, you need to accrue 10 hours of volunteer service and 2 Key Club events. So if you do the math, for a whole school year, it's 20 hours and 4 events. Not too tough to do. So what do? First of all, you check your school email very often. As soon as I get information about an event, I will send out that information to you with a link to sign up for that event. So you'll do all your signing up through Sign Up Genius, and it's a really cool website. You create an account, you can sign up for particular events, particular shifts, or sometimes even particular activities that you want to do at the events. And what's really cool about Sign Up Genius is that as you create an account, you can actually get or set up, oops, that should be a 3, set up email reminders or text reminders a few days before the event to remind you of it. Then you show up to the event on time and you do good work during your shift. And what you have to remember is that there is a form found on Moodle. In this form, you print it out, you download it, you print it off, you bring it to that event, get it signed by an adult supervisor who can vouch for you and say, yes, you were there, you did your time, and you did it well. And so then what you do is you take that service verification form and you turn it in. There's a little envelope on our Key Club bulletin board, if I spell that right. It's between 103 and 104 on the wall. You turn it in there, and eventually then I will take it and I will log them in, and you'll get the amount of hours and events that you deserve from that event. You just have to make sure you bring that sheet with you to the event, and you get it signed no matter what. Sometimes they say, "Oh, I'm not going to sign it. I'll just email your advisor." Always get it signed. But remember, you have to show up for these events. These people are relying on volunteers like you, and if you don't show up, their event cannot run successfully. Now, here's you again, and you're still wondering about those 10 hours and those 2 events. What are some other ways I can get those each semester? Well, say you have a really good opportunity at your church or in the community. Here's how you do non-Key Club events. First of all, you take that service verification form, you print it off from Moodle, and you go to your teacher, you go to me and say, hey, I want to do this event. Can you sign my service verification form saying that this event is indeed a valid one and that I'll get hours for it? And I'll say, yep, and I'll sign it. And then you go to the event, do your thing, you get that same service verification form signed again by an adult at the event, and then you turn it into the bulletin board, and I will give you hours towards the 10 that you need. You won't get counted the events, but you'll get the hours. So, say for an example, for the whole semester, you got 20 hours in 2 events. The good thing is that those extra 10 hours that you got actually rolls over into second semester. So you have all of your hours done for second semester. Unfortunately, you still have to get 2 Key Club events. Okay? So that's how you go about doing a non-Key Club sponsored event. Just make sure you get that signed sheet before you do the activity. So you've been working all semester, you've been turning in your service verification forms, and now what you want to do is you want to check how many hours you have. Okay, and it's really easy to do. I update it probably every week to 2 weeks so you can see quickly. And by the way, you want to turn in those verification forms within 2 weeks of the event. If your event is in September and you turn it in January, I'm not going to count that. So make sure you diligently turn those in. So remember, you need 10 hours and 2 events. However, there are some ways that you may get removed from the club, even though it's not tough to do. The first is that you don't show up to an event. The first time that happens, you'll get a warning. The second time, you'll be removed from the club. We have worked so hard with our Key Club to make sure that there are very few no-shows, if any, in a year. And for that, we get more and more volunteer opportunities because people know that we can be trusted and reliable. If for some reason you have something come up with your family and you can't be there, you have to find a replacement. Oftentimes, I'll have a list of substitutes that are willing to take your spot, but you have to coordinate with them all of the information and then let me know so and so will be taking my spot. You have to find a substitute. There's no exception. Second, if you don't turn in your service verification forms, I cannot give you credit for them. So please turn those in. Third, if you don't even have any hours or events, I will be removing you from the club after just one semester. And finally, if you don't quite get enough hours or events, say you have 8 hours and 2 events in a semester, you'll get a warning that says you're on probation for the next semester. And all that means is that instead of getting 10 hours that semester, you have to get those additional 2, so you get 12. And if you don't get those events, if you don't reach your probation goal that semester, you will be asked to be removed. And that'll be continuing throughout every year of your college or your high school career. So if you don't make it your freshman year, you're on that list. You cannot be joining that club in future years. Okay? But it's really easy to get 10 hours and 2 events. You just have to get your hours early. A lot of people wait until the end of the semester in January and try and rush. Don't rush. Spots fill up really quickly. Get them done early so that you can breathe a sigh of relief. And I'm almost finished. If you get out your smartphones right now, you can actually sign up for mass texts from me if you message at @KlemmeKey to this number. And what I'll do is I'll send out text messages as soon as an event becomes available on Sign Up Genius. I'll also email that so you can get them both ways. And I'll be texting when we have one of our 3 meetings all year. So you get a text update saying that you need to be in resource on December 17th starting at 7:40. And those events are always usually in the auditorium. They don't last very long, but they just help us wrap things up and start things off each semester. So make sure you sign up. This information is also on the Moodle page if you didn't quite get it entered in at this point. So finally, back to these 5 individuals. They were all part of Key Club. They knew what it was about. They knew why it was important. So be a part of Key Club and make sure you tell people it's not about keys. It's about doing good work in our schools and our communities. So be a part of Key Club and be proud.